afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Lori Blanchard. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at Dun Solutions Group. And today's presentation for your Oracle ERP data will feature the RapidDecision Enterprise Data Warehouse. And our presenter today is Joanne Militas. She is the Director of Solution Engineering for RapidDecision EDW. And just a few housekeeping items before we officially get started. Should you have any questions during today's presentation, please feel free to submit them. GoToWebinar in your toolbar does have a question box there, so submit them. And then at the end of the presentation, Joanne will do her best to answer all of the questions. Today's session will be recorded and will be shared with everyone who registered and attended. And that is for the convenience of you being able to share the presentation with your colleagues. All of our webinars are recorded, so in the event that you've missed any of our webinars in the past, please feel free to visit our website, dunsolutions.com, and our library of previously recorded webcasts. Okay, I will get started with a brief introduction to Dun Solutions Group. We have a long history of delivering innovative business technology solutions to companies. We are headquartered just outside of Chicago and have offices in Minneapolis, Raleigh, St. Louis, and Bangalore, India. Our offerings fall into three practice areas. Our application development solutions feature portals, e-commerce, and content-managed websites, mobile application development, and custom application development. Our business intelligence solutions feature analytics and BI platforms, as well as data warehouse and data integration. We are also a certified SAP and Library training provider. And we offer several out-of-the-box analytic frameworks for certain verticals, including accountable care organizations, corporate legal departments, higher education institutions, and optical shops. We've been helping companies leverage their data for over 25 years. Our business intelligence practice helps deliver information to decision makers throughout your organization so that it runs better. We can help with decision making by not only looking in the rearview mirror, but also looking forward into the future by leveraging predictive analytics and data mining techniques. We maintain strong partnerships with top technology companies in order to offer our clients the most innovative solutions available. We offer a global delivery model that gives us the flexibility to build teams that are best suited to our clients' timelines, budgets, and preferences. Projects that utilize offshore resources are always led by someone local and U.S.-based. Our clients, some of which are included here, are a combination of Fortune 500, mid-market companies, government agencies, and nonprofits, really across all verticals. Okay, so that's the introduction to Dun Solutions. At this point, I am going to turn it over to Joanne for her presentation. And just give me a moment to make her the presenter. And again, should you have any questions, please do feel free to submit them via the question box. And Joanne, you should be able to, all right. We can see your screen.
We're good to go.
Yep, we're good to go. Thanks, Joanne.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Lori. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. The presentation will take about 30 minutes or so, and then we'll leave some time for Q&A at the end. So let's get started. I'm hoping somebody recognizes this woman in this picture here, but we kind of put this at the beginning to highlight, some of the common challenges that organizations face today on getting data out of their current systems. It's difficult to get data out, especially when you have many different data sources. It tends to be, in some cases, a manual and timely process to compile and consolidate and report on this data. And most companies require ability to do better predictive analytics. That's the new thing right now. They want to, as Lori said, not look in the rearview mirror. They want to look forward. They want to know and understand what's ahead of them and how can they plan for that. Analyzing information such as sales and looking at it by different areas, by product, by region, by sales rep across the board, and having that information accessible. Concern on accuracy and completeness of data. So there is a lack of user confidence in the results. So we need to understand and we need to face these challenges head on. Organizing data. This is the biggest challenge when you embark on an analytics project. And these studies and statistics by IBM, World, Gartner, Harvard Business Review have highlighted these challenges of organizing data, whereas 69% of customers spend more time organizing data than actually analyzing it. The one here that sticks out the most to us is the cost. 80% of the cost of a business analytics project is associated with organizing the data, and that's staggering. But it's true. It really happens because there's so many things to consider while organizing data. And what typically happens when companies go out and embark on a BI project or a business analytics project, they go out and buy a tool, such as a BI tool, maybe it's Business Objects or Cognos or MicroStrategy or whatever type of tool they decide to go with. And then what happens is they go to IT and they say, okay, now we have this great tool, we need some data. And that data can reside in multiple places, within Oracle ERPs, J.D. Edwards, PeopleSoft, Oracle Business Suite. There might be other data sources. It's very, very rare when all of the data exists in one place. So what happens is the users ask for the data, and then IT delivers it back. And what happens then? Well, they need more. And so this is an iterative process that goes back and forth because the requirements change all the time. They need more data. They need different data. They need data from different sources. And going in this process doesn't give them access to immediate information or real-time data. So what you really need is a platform. You need to have a platform in place that goes through a process of identifying, extracting, enhancing, and organizing the data. And this is a process where you have to identify where does that data come from based upon the business requirements. How do you extract the data? What tools are you going to use? Most of the data that exists within an ERP system is cryptic in nature, so it needs to be enhanced. There needs to be rules applied to that data, so it makes sense for a business user when they go and do some analysis on that. Organization. Data that resides in ERP systems are designed for data entry, validation, and control. That data is not optimized for what we would consider high-speed data retrieval and analysis. So we need to organize the data in such a way that the users can get access to it quickly, almost Google-like information at their fingertips. And then we need to update the data. We need to have that data in real time so that they're not waiting until IT refreshes data or gives them more data. The data needs to be continuously moving so they have access to the latest and greatest data that exists within their systems. So a lot of companies decide to embark on building this analytics platform, and what they need to do is they need to consider the following things. What data is required? Where do you find the data? How do you extract it and enhance it? How do you architect the model for usability and performance? And we'll get into a little bit more detail on that. How do you keep the data current? How do I move the data as the transactions are occurring in the source system? How do I keep that data moving across to that platform? And how do you rationalize data from multiple data sources? If I've got data coming from multiple ERPs, maybe it's the same ERP, but on different instances. Maybe they're different versions. Maybe they reside on different database platforms. We have to rationalize and understand that when we go through our design. What database do you run it on? Do you run it on traditional database platforms such as an Oracle database or a Microsoft SQL Server, or are you going in memory? Do you want that high-speed in-memory database platform? Then what BI tools do I use to access that data and analyze the data? And last but not least, it's how could we possibly leverage the investments that we've already made? You may already have a BI tool in place within your organization, and you want to keep that tool because your users have adopted that tool. They're used to that tool, and you don't want to rock the boat and give them another tool that they don't need. But what they really do need is a platform where they can access that data within those BI tools. And that's what RapidDecision is. RapidDecision is that platform where we have already extracted and pre-built that platform by extracting 100% of the transactional data that comes from those Oracle ERPs. that is already pre-built. Those extractions and transformations coming out of those Oracle ERPs have been pre-built as part of the RapidDecision solution. It is a patented and proven architecture, and we also continuously update the data. We move the data continuously using a technology called change data capture, where we're only going to move any add, any change, or any delete, giving the users access to near real-time information. We've also built the platform so that it's open architected. We want to be able to allow our customers to bring in other data. That's the whole point. You need to bring in other data as the requirements change and as users need more information. And obviously, it needs to scale. As companies today are acquiring other companies, they need to be able to have a platform in place so that we can easily scale up as these requirements change. So once you have this in place, you've already empowered the user, because now they don't have to rely on IT anymore to go and get the data. The data is there. The data is available to them so that they can go and create their own reports and do their own analysis, giving them self-service access to business intelligence. Talking about self-service access to BI, this is an interesting study that was done by the Aberdeen Group. And if you look at this chart, and we're going to start on the left-hand side, this talks about correlating self-service BI with a rapid return on investment on your BI project. So on the left, if you look at the best-in-class companies, 52% of those users with self-service, non-IT assisted access to BI achieve the ROI in about 5 months. Alternatively, the laggard companies that only provide 19% of the users with self-service takes them over a year to achieve ROI on their BI project. So there's a clear correlation between providing users self-service BI to the time to achieve the return on investment on your BI project. So an interesting study by the Aberdeen Group. Here's an example of data model. To be able to bring in a customer record, this is what's required. And this is an example of a J.D. Edwards underlying database. To be able to bring in one customer record, I need the customer number, the customer name, the address. I've got to go to all these different tables to bring in that information. I need to bring in region and territory, and I need to bring in the date. Okay, for those out there that are J.D. Edwards users, we all know that the dates are stored in a Century Julian format, very cryptic in nature. But this is complex. This is not an easy thing to do for a business user. So we need to take the complexity out of the situation when we have this unified data model in place. And that's where the RapidDecision pre-built solution comes in. So it's finally a data flow architecture here. We're starting from the left-hand side, starting with the data sources. And these ERP systems, these Oracle ERPs and PeopleSoft, J.D. Edwards, and eBusiness, we're connecting to those ERPs using an ETL tool from SAP called Data Integrator. Within that tool, we have already written the pre-built extractions and transformations to get the data out of those systems into what we call a repository. Simply a one-to-one mapping, but with a lot of changes to field names and file names across the board. And we also identify the source where that data came from. Once that data resides in the repository, we then do the heavy lifting to really optimize the data, transform that data, and put that data into subject area data marts. Once those data marts are built, we then have a metadata layer, which is part of the business intelligence solution, and we have pre-built metadata for some of the BI tools that exist out there today, as well as some pre-built report templates to get the users jump-started. You don't want to give them a blank slate. So we give them pre-built reports so that they can validate the data and get the confidence that they need to move on with the BI project. We also have a solution for HANA as well, and here's an example of our pre-built data marts. So here's a listing of all the pre-built data marts that we have in place for the RapidDecision solution, and all of this is pre-built. Here's the same example, but on a HANA platform, which is a in-memory database from SAP. And there's just a little bit of a different architecture here, but one of the biggest things at HANA is that you pre-built views within HANA, and that the speed to deliver this information to the users is extraordinary. So a great platform from SAP that we've already been certified on. Now once we have the, the platform in place, you start to look at the business, and you have to understand that different needs require a different experience. So you have executives, you have line of business folks, you have business analysts, you have individual folks, and we need to provide them access to information in the way that they need to see it. So executives may want to see some high-level dashboards, some KPI, maybe some visualizations around the data. The analysts really want to dig down into the details. They want to know what's going on behind the scenes and how to do some predictive analytics. So when we talk about business intelligence reporting and analytics, it goes across many different realms. Obviously, everybody needs enterprise reporting. We have to provide reports to the business because that's the way that they run their business. And sometimes now what's happening is we're providing them reports that are alerts so that they don't have to go through streams and streams of reports. That's simply alerted as to something that's good or something that needs attention. Dashboards and applications, we want to provide the users with an engaging way to look at information so that they can interact with the data. And then new things like agile visualization and predictive analytics, being able to look at data, lots of data, in a very visual way. So that brings us to our demonstration. So I'm going to come out of here, and we're going to go right into the Business Objects platform for today. And I'm going to show you some of the pre-built reports and dashboards that we provide out of the box for our users. So this is the Business Objects platform, and I'm going to go right into some of our pre-built report templates that we have for the Oracle ERPs. We've got it across the board for Oracle eBusiness, for JD Edwards, for PeopleSoft, and you'll see here that I have a series of folders across each one of these ERP systems. I'm going to open up JD Edwards Sales for now, and we're going to take a look at some of the pre-built reports that we have for the sales module within JD Edwards. I'm going to open up a flash report here so that you can see some of the examples of how we can view the data within Business Objects. And this will give you an understanding of seeing the data in this type of way where we can highlight the data, we can look at it based upon different criteria, canceled orders. We put the red, green, and yellow on this so that we can understand what levels we have met or not met. Here's another series of reports. We've got some on-time delivery reports and a series of, or a library of reports that we provide out of the box for our customers. Here's a on-time delivery for all companies, and most of the reports that we provide as pre-built report templates have a summary tab as well as some detail tabs that you can see here going down to the lowest level of detail. That's one of the key differentiators of the RapidDecision solution. We're not summarizing the data. We are going down to the lowest level of detail so the users don't have to go back to the source system to get the details. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the actual query panel and show you underneath the covers what is included with the RapidDecision. And this is that metadata layer that I was talking about earlier. And this is specifically for JD Edwards. So what you can see here, you're seeing, branch plant, you're seeing item number, you're seeing order number and delivery date. But over here on the left-hand side, everything is organized into folders. So I have my company folder. And as I mouse over this company number, it's actually telling me where that data came from in JD Edwards. So it tells me that it came from the F0010 and what field it is. This part of what we've already done within RapidDecision, within the Business Objects platform, is what gets delivered to customers. And it really goes a long way to help the users create the reports, because now they know and understand exactly where that information came from, and they have the confidence to build the reports that they need. We have all different levels of customers: sold to customers, shipped to, invoice to, parent. To be able to build that customer dimension alone is over 200 joins to be able to bring that together. That's already part of the Rapid Decision solution, and we already store the data in that way. So therefore, you're going to get very, very fast response time when you bring that data in. So you can aggregate at the parent level and then be able to drill down into the details. We've got item master information, as well as all of the category codes associated with that. So I've got all of my purchasing category codes, all of my sales category codes. So like I said, we have all of the details in here down to the lowest level. Sales order detail. All of this information is included with the Rapid Decision solution, as well as all of the amounts. So now that you have all of the data that you need, you can create any analytic, any calculation necessary to do what's specific to your organization. Just a few more reports that I'm going to show you here. We'll open up the general ledger. We've got some trial balances, balance sheets, income statements, a series of reports that we have pre-built. And like I said, it's really to get the users jump-started so that they can have confidence in the data once it's been deployed. And here's another example of the data coming through for the general ledger as well as from sales. One of the other things that I'd like to point out, too, is that along with the actual data marts that we deliver, we also have what's called a common data mart. And for the technical folks in the house here today, that common data mart contains common dimensions. So that allows the users to bring in data from multiple subject areas. So for instance, if I want to bring in sales data, I also want to bring in AR data and GL data. I can do that all at the same time because I'm sharing those common dimensions, such as a customer, such as a product. And you'll see here that these dimensions over here on the left-hand side are exactly the same as what you saw when I showed you the sales report and the underlying fields within the sales. Okay. We also have all of the details from your journal entry details in the 911 and the 902, which is the balances table within J.D. Edwards. And one of the interesting things that we also do here at this level and what we do within the data mart is that we're already calculating the balances for J.D. Edwards. So what does that mean? Well, in J.D. Edwards, those balances aren't even calculated. They don't even exist. So what we do is we know going in what your automatic accounting instructions are, so we can pre-calculate and store the balances. So it makes it very easy for a user to create a balance sheet report, an income statement, etc. Okay. A few more, and I'll open up Oracle eBusiness, showing you some of the same reports. Here's a flash report, but this is Oracle eBusiness data. The same information, just coming from an Oracle eBusiness source. So if I go over here to the design mode and show you underneath the covers, here is the same information, but the difference is going to be more relevant for an Oracle eBusiness customer. So you can see here that here's my EBS sales mart, and over here you're going to see some very different things, such as flex fields, such as attributes, which is very important within Oracle eBusiness. Okay, so all of the attributes are here, all of the flex fields are here, all of those things that an Oracle eBusiness customer would come to know, they can be confident that that data is here within this pre-built metadata that we deliver. Okay, so back to our presentation here. So once you have this platform in place, this provides you with a complete business reporting and analytics solution. By being able to do everything from the extraction of the data, the transformation of the data, building that analytic platform or that pre-built analytic platform that can reside on a number of different database options such as HANA, SAP IQ, or your traditional, as I mentioned earlier, Oracle database or a Microsoft SQL Server, the pre-built data marts, and I showed you all of the different subject areas. We've got 26 pre-built subject areas available out of the box today. The semantic layers, the universe layer within Business Objects, all of that is pre-built and ready to go. The BI tools. Besides Web Intelligence, we've got some Lumira visualizations. We've got HANA views already pre-built. So this provides you with a complete business intelligence reporting and analytics solution ready to go out of the box. Here's the list again of the pre-built data marts. We have, the financial area, which is your basic GLAP and AR, your supply chain, your sales, inventory, purchasing, and then there's some niche areas that we also provide to customers as well, work order and transportation, HR, payroll, etc. Here's a listing of some satisfied RapidDecision customers. We go from the mid-market all the way up to the Fortune 500 companies. And all of these are RapidDecision customers across the board within Oracle ERPs. So here's kind of the summary of why customers select RapidDecision. Fastest time to value. We can have a single subject area up and running in as little as 10 business days. The solution is pre-built. That's why we can do it so quickly. We consolidate 100% of the transactional data. I mentioned this earlier. That's important to the business user. Being able to see summary data is great, but they always want to get down to the detail. And we don't want to have them go back to the source system to get that detail. We need to provide that detail for the users. Real-time continuous updates. We need to move the data and make it available to the users continuously so that they don't have to wait for the information. The implementation of the solution is a fixed fee, so there's no surprises as far as providing that solution and implementing it. We also offer ERP upgrade protection, so when you decide to upgrade to the next release of the Oracle ERP, we've got those mappings and transformations all pre-built, ready to go. It's a unified data model, and what that really means is I can combine data from multiple instances, whether you're on the same ERP or not. We've got customers that are running both J.D. Edwards and PeopleSoft, or J.D. Edwards and eBusiness, and even SAP. So there are situations where we can bring in multiple data sources simultaneously. And the bottom line is it's the lowest risk option for our customers. They already knew how complex it was to go ahead and build this and how time-consuming it was going to be. So by having this solution available to them, just eliminated all the risk for them to move forward, and it just made the most sense for them. So thank you all very much. I'm going to pass it back over to Lori for any questions that we might have this afternoon.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Joanne. All right, we do have a few questions. Let me just make myself the presenter here. Confirming everyone sees my screen. Okay. All right. So, Joanne, let's see what we have here questions-wise. A couple around data sources. So, can I integrate data from other sources besides J.D. Edwards, PeopleSoft, or Oracle?
Absolutely. We have a solution besides the RapidDecision pre-built solution called the RapidDecision Adapter that can help companies actually bring in data from other data sources. And it will align the data within the RapidDecision data model. We have not ever really met a customer yet that doesn't have other data sources that they want to bring in, even if it's custom tables within the ERP or outside sources. The way that we've built the data model allows them to bring in other data sources into the solution.
Excellent. And what specific versions of PeopleSoft are supported?
We go back, actually we went back to version 6 a while ago for a customer, but we're going up to 9X at this point. 9.2 I believe is the latest version, but we go down to the 8 levels as well, some of the versions. I'm not too familiar with all the different versions, but I know we're up in the 9s now, and we go back quite a few versions that we support.
Great. How does your product compare to Oracle's analytic product, financial analytics, or project analytics?
Sure. One of the key differences, and some of them I mentioned here this afternoon, is, like I said, 100% of the transactional data we bring across. we have a very different philosophy with the RapidDecision solution as opposed to the OBIA solution, the Oracle Business Intelligence Analytics, is that they have pre-built analytics that they deliver with the solution. And a lot of customers find they're very enamored by these analytics and how pretty they look and all that kind of stuff. But once they open up the covers, they recognize the fact that the way that analytic was calculated may not meet their requirements. So what they have to do is they actually have to decompile that analytic, understand how it was calculated, see if all the data is available so that they can calculate what that analytic means. Maybe it's gross margin or maybe it's net sales or something like that. And then they actually, if that data is not available, they have to go back to the source system, map the data in, refresh the data, then recalculate the analytic and recompile it again. Our philosophy is very different, meaning that we bring in across 100% of the transactional data, so you can calculate any analytic that you need. The other differentiator would be the fact that we move the data continuously. We're not a refreshed or a net change, or we can be, but most of our customers opt to use the real-time data flows, real-time continuous data movement.
All right, thank you. And another question, do we have a choice of database for the repository and data marts?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, the traditional databases apply, Oracle, and it really comes down to the customer. What is your expertise internally? So it really doesn't matter to us. A lot of our customers are on the traditional Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server. We're seeing a lot of them move to, the in-memory, such as HANA. But the repository can reside on a traditional, and then the data marts can reside on HANA if they so choose. So that's completely up to them, and it goes along with the expertise internally.
Okay, thank you. And can I use your product to achieve or decommission production data?
So I guess I'm going to probably come back with a question there. It sounds to maybe like an archiving strategy, perhaps. Maybe we want to take that one offline, unless they're migrating to another ERP and they want to move that data out of that ERP into this type of an environment so that they can migrate. So there's a couple of questions I have around that, so I'd be more than open to discussing that further.
Okay, thank you, Joanne. All right, any other questions? Give everyone a few seconds just to make sure we've answered everything. Okay, it doesn't look as though any other questions have been submitted at this time. I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. I will be following up with everyone with a link to the recording once we have that available, I hope within the next day or two. Should you wish to reach out before then, my email address is here, and I'd be happy to get you in touch with those who can help you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and we look forward to hearing from you. Joanne, thank you very much for all your expertise this afternoon.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.